with some 5 to 7 trillion US a year required to ensure that the Sustainable Development Goals are realized by 2030, there is a need for urgent action and mobilization of private sector capital.
When I was looking for a job, it was quite standard for progressive firms to tell you, well, we do take women, but we've got one, so we couldn't possibly take another. Now, somehow or other, I managed to get myself into a job, and at the end of my training, it was clear there was one vacancy and 2 candidates. And it was also equally obvious that obviously the job would go to the man. Now, even he admitted it was unfair because I was the better lawyer. He was right, by the way, and his name was Tony Blair, and as you know, he never made it as a lawyer.
China is actually facing a lot of challenges for this green finance to develop. Now it's needed to have a clear definition. What is green finance? As long as top Chinese policymakers, they are made their mind, I think I'm quite confident for these green finance rules, policies, and policy support for the green finance to develop in about 2 years' time.
What's amazing to see is next-gen emergent business managers in China so engaged on the topic.
Sustainability is environment, people, and financial sustainability. So for climate change, we look at the need to reduce greenhouse gases, and not only that, how do we ensure that we are able to sustain human life and perpetually, right? And Cargill, actually, we are the first company in the world to announce that we are going to eliminate deforestation from every single commodity supply chain that we trade in.
We are back to the challenge of the reality that private capital seeks private returns. And we are trying to change that into private capital seeking private returns without inflicting third-party costs, without inflicting externalities, and maybe, once in a while, even adding to social benefit.
Ultimately, we have to get to that right equation. Are we happy with certain minimum returns, or do we want certain outcomes when it comes to environmental impact and social impact?
The other thing which has fundamentally changed in our industry is consumer-led decision-making around clean tech. So 1 in 4 households now in some states in Australia has taken control of their energy consumption. I think the great opportunity that we have globally is that I'm sure many other countries are like Australia where the capital stock of existing generation is ageing. There is an opportunity, I guess, to get this right with the clean tech side of things because of the fact that we were going to have to refresh it anyway.
Trends can be broken. They can be broken with political will, smart allocation of resources, and innovation.
I think the smartest businesses in the world, and this includes BNP Paribas, are realizing that when you can hook yourself to a larger purpose, you want to work for a company that has a social conscience. Customers also want to know that they're doing business with companies that are ethical and that give a damn about the state of the world.
We are at a stage where the Sustainable Development Agenda is not a UN agenda anymore. It is indeed a global agenda. And it's part of the very fabric of what we do in our different realms of activity.
Research around having diversity at the senior executive level also is linked to outperformance. And in fact, that's where women can have an even bigger impact on the company on those operational decisions as opposed to the decisions that are made at the board. So it's not just about board, it's also senior management and creating that culture within an organisation to remove unconscious bias.
Billie Jean King, you brought up a very, very important person in this whole arena of tennis. I mean, she's really the one that should get all the credit for having that equality with men. Every sport needs a Billie Jean King, every business needs a Billie Jean King, because she really, she spoke up, but she made sense.